Good evening and welcome to this episode of History or Bust. I'm Jake Donoho alongside Teaghan Carter. Today we will be covering 4 unsung heroes of World War I, one of the most brutal wars in human history. First up on the list is Enrico Toti, the man who rode a bicycle into battle with only one leg. In 1908 he lost his left leg when he got caught between 2 trains. He started cycling and in 1911 he rode to Paris, then on to Belgium, the Netherlands, ending up in Lapland before riding back through Russia and Poland. He was rejected recruitment 3 times due to his disability, so he drove his bike to the front but was stopped by military police. The commander of the 3rd Italian Army heard of Toti and assigned him as a volunteer at the 3rd Army headquarters.
He somehow managed to get put on the front as a 3rd Battalion sniper. Officially, he never served as a soldier because of his disability, but his comrades saw him as their equal. He acted as a sniper in the 6th Battle of Isonzo, where he was shot 3 times before dying. He was posthumously rewarded the highest distinction for courage, and monuments and statues were erected in his honor.
This is a very interesting person from the World War I era, mainly because just the dedication he has to fight. I mean, like, you lose your legs, not only are you no longer eligible to serve anymore, and which most people will think, I mean, no one wants to lose their legs, but as a blessing for not having to go and fight in the war, but this guy really wanted it. He rode his bike having one leg and everything like that, and it was quite a story.
Yeah, very insistent. He definitely did not want to give up on that chance to fight for Italy, and it's pretty amazing that he rode his bike to the front just so he could have that opportunity. Next we have Henry Johnson, who fought in the 1st African American unit in the United States Army, and also fought off soldiers with a bolo knife. He enlisted in the 15th New York National Guard Regiment, which was an all-black unit. The 15th was shipped out to France and renamed the 396th Infantry Regiment. The regiment did mostly menial work until they were let into the French 4th Army, where they became known as the Harlem Hellfighters.
Johnson and his fellow soldier Needham Roberts were sent to Outpost 20, placed on sentry duty from midnight to 4 a.m., and were soon being shot at by German snipers. He heard the wires of the fence being cut around 2 a.m. and began throwing grenades. Roberts tried to help but was mostly incapacitated by a grenade. Johnson had him hand him grenades until they ran out. When the grenades ran out, he kept firing his French rifle until he tried to put an American clip in and it jammed. He swung his rifle like a club and it broke and was knocked to the ground. But when he saw the Germans attempting to capture Roberts, he took out his final weapon, a bolo knife, and began slashing and stabbing.
Really intense guy. He really was not willing to give up. If I remember correctly, he killed 4 Germans with his bolo knife and also injured or wounded 10 to 20 others. And this was found out after he had scared them off and then dragged Roberts to a safe enough place so that he could then go unconscious.
Yes, definitely. In my opinion, this is something that you would see in like a movie script or something like that. This is quite the story, just being able to take out so many people just with a knife. It's some sort of like some main character World War I action movie stuff. It's crazy to think about that it actually occurred.
Yeah, and the sad thing is that he didn't receive any benefits when he got back because they messed up his record when he was released.
Very interesting. We'll be covering more history or bust after this commercial break, including a nurse who saved hundreds of soldiers and an American fighter ace. We'll be right back.
What does it mean to be a war hawk?
It means allowing myself to dream big and think outside the box.
Pushing the limits of what I think is possible.
Seeing ideas through from start to finish.
Collaborating with professors and peers.
And seizing opportunities in the community to put my knowledge to use.
I'm studying abroad,
learning another language,
and listening to the stories of others.
I'm making lifelong friends and fearlessly sharing my gifts with the world.
As a war hawk, I stay balanced,
take great care of myself,
and get out of my comfort zone.
I refuse to let the past determine my future.
And I'm taking confident steps in the direction of my dreams.
Sometimes it doesn't make sense.
And other times it couldn't be more exciting.
But I will keep my goals in mind
and never quit.
Because
that's the war hawk way.
We'd love to show you what it's like to be a war hawk.
Come on! UW Whitewater.
You belong here!
At the University Bookstore, we have an excellent selection of competitively priced books and classroom necessities for students. We have Warhawk gear ranging from athletic apparel to comfy sweatshirts the whole family can enjoy. The textbook rental service is also available for students to check out their required readings for class. You can also find and order books, apparel, and gift items from our online catalog, located at uwwhitewaterbookstore.com. The University Bookstore. We provide for your college experiences.
The UC can get you connected to all your basic needs. Grab a coffee and a meal. Study by the fireplace. Bowl, play, and relax when you want to break from homework. The UC has much more to offer to Whitewater students. Go to the UC's website to see what's going on this week.
Welcome to Jitters Coffee House. Located on the first floor of the Wells Towers, Jitters is a student-run coffee lounge and offers a variety of coffee and ice cream-based drinks and is home to many entertaining programs, including live music, gamer trivia nights, and other performances. Coordinate your activity by emailing jitters@uww.edu. Jitters is completely run by volunteers who can earn service hours and even receive a free drink during their shift. Stop in tonight at Jitters Coffee House, where fun events and community come together.
Tech Crew is a position at the University Center that we have that employs students as workers to provide AV support for various events. Conferences, camps, orientations, entertainment events such as magicians, comedians, bands, and a wide variety of various things that the University Center hosts.
Tech Crew is a great place for people who are interested in lighting and sound to really get hands-on experience and to learn and to grow, and just to be surrounded by great people who also want to learn.
It is that atmosphere. It's fun, it's entertaining, you learn a lot. I've been here for a long time and I've learned a lot about various different types of people, different types of events. I've met a lot of connections that will help me later in life, and it's just fun to be around and do what you like to do in a setting where you can learn too.
Sign up for Tech Crew today.
Welcome back to History or Bust. Let's continue down the list. Up next is Edith Cavell, a nurse who was able to save over 200 Allied soldiers. She was a British nurse working in German-occupied Belgium. She trained to be a nurse in London and worked in hospitals in Shoreditch, King's Cross, and Manchester before becoming a matron in Brussels at Belgium's first training hospital and nursing school. At that time, there was no established profession as a nurse in Belgium, so Cavell's work is considered to be the foundation of modern nursing there.
When World War I broke out, she was in Norfolk, but decided it was her duty to return to Brussels upon hearing that German troops were advancing. The hospital Cavell worked at became a Red Cross hospital after Brussels became occupied by the Germans. After treating 2 British soldiers and smuggling them out of Belgium, she became part of a network which sheltered Allied soldiers and Belgians who were eligible for military service. Over the course of 11 months, she treated around 200 Belgian, British, and French soldiers in her hospital and arranged for them to be smuggled out of the country. This is a really interesting person in the sense of World War I, simply because of how many lives she saved overall. I think just being a trained nurse, you see she got the education and stuff like that, and over 200 Allied soldiers puts a great effect on the war effort.
She really was a remarkable woman. Sadly, once she was able to smuggle all of those soldiers out, her and 34 other women, if I'm not mistaken, were captured by the Germans and executed by a firing squad.
Very unfortunate thing there, but it's just some of the things that war happens. War is a really bad thing, and it's just one of the most unfortunate things that can happen even to the best of people. And finally, we have Frank Luke, who was a flying ace in the Arizona and known as the Arizona Balloon Buster. He enlisted in the aviation section after earning his wings and was assigned to the 27th Aero Squadron. He was an American fighter pilot who shot a total of 14 enemy balloons and 4 airplanes to take out. Enemy balloons had to focus solely on making passes while firing at the balloons while disregarding anti-aircraft fire, enemy planes, and his own safety. During a 7-day period in 1918, he had 13 confirmed victories, including shooting down 2 balloons and 3 airplanes on the last day. All of this coming within a week and while taking 2 days off of flying.
On his last day, he got shot in the shoulder on his last mission. His SPAD began to lose altitude, and he had to make a forced landing in Mervaux, France. He was intercepted by German infantrymen who wanted him to surrender, but instead he killed 7 of them with the pistol he kept strapped in his cockpit before he died via a chest wound. He really wasn't going to go out without a fight. He was determined to take as many down with him. He knew that he did not want to be captured, and he also knew that he didn't want to die in a dogfight. The first time he saw a dogfight, he said, "Nope, that is not how I want to go out."
Yes, definitely, I think so as well. Just the thing that I've seen with a lot of these characters that are people, that we're talking about, is that the heroics that they have and the will to simply not give up. You take a look at this fighter pilot here, and even when he crashed and German soldiers were closing in on him, he was able to hold off as many as he could. Now, unfortunately, he did pass away at this moment, but the Germans did give him a chance to surrender and take him as prisoner, and he chose to fight back. And that will do it for today's episode of History or Bust. Come back next week to learn more about other lesser-known figures from iconic time periods. Until next time.